Alright, this is Gwen, Lord of Cinder, and we're here with Carl24 in the second placement game for the Axes. And I've kind of started mid my attack plans for round 2. I'll do a quick overview of the board from round 1. I won't read everything off. You can kind of pause the video. I'll highlight a couple things. You can read anything else you want to see. They had a pretty bad West Russia here, losing 5 infantry. Standard buy for Germany. Combat was pretty normal. Ukraine was interesting. Destroyed both their leftover tanks with 0 losses. Everything else was kind of what you would expect. They bought a bomber. I'm not a fan of that, to be honest with you, but they can buy whatever they want, I suppose. I'm more of a fan of the standard, either you drop a fleet, assuming the Germans don't have too much Air Force trained on 7, and or the other option of 2 fighters and 3 infantry, but this isn't the worst possible buy for sure. Yeah, the Transjordan attack was a little bit nasty for them. They lost 2 infantry to kill the 1 artillery, and then everything else was pretty sort of standard, except we got gypped a little bit with New Guinea and Borneo. They were able to do a lot, and the game just did not punish them for it. I will talk about my Japan buy though. So from my perspective, I was seeing that they took New Guinea and Borneo, and I was thinking that it could have been a possible KGF, so I decided to do a buy accordingly. I bought 2 transports and 2 destroyers with the idea of if I was going to buy more destroyers, or not, I mean more transports, I could do that in the future. Combat was okay, except for Anway. Lost a lot of infantry there. That was pretty nasty. I will talk about this. I think this US buy of 4 transports was kind of bad. Simply, like, if you look here, they just don't have enough stuff to put on these transports. I mean, I guess they could fling these 4 guys to Canada, plus this artillery and this AA gun, and at least they're at, 6, but that's still only enough for 3 of the 4 transports they bought. Not really sure what the thought was here, because they sacrificed 2 transports to drop these guys off in Africa, and I'm not exactly convinced that this is going to stop me from pushing through this. I haven't decided if on the next German turn if I'm going to hit this just to try to kill the airplanes, or if I'm just going to blitz Transjordan there and just stack up in Egypt and just kind of hold out there for the time being. Russia 2. So for round 2, they bought the same thing they did in round 1. Combat pretty standard. losing 2 infantry to kill the 3 infantry that I killed their 2 tanks with the round before. Those 3 infantry are really paying for themselves here. That's for sure. Went heavily infantry for G2 buy. I had to do a lot of trading. Obviously, I had to kill these 2 transports that were being sacked off of Morocco here. So I had to use a plane. Where I had stacked Karelia round 1, where they'd had a really bad West Russia, they pulled out, and so I wanted to take West Russia, Archangel, Bello, and Ukraine here. And obviously, you know, we're kind of limited on how many airplanes we can use. And I really didn't want to send one airplane to each territory. So what I decided to do was, since I had a tank stack in Baltic here and a tank stack in Karelia, I decided to use both those tank stacks as artificial planes to take Bello and Ukraine here. And I'd say the Ukraine attack is the most worrying one, because I mean they can counter this with 4 infantry, a tank, and 2 planes. But hopefully, if they go for that, we'll kill these planes and we can get Russia on its last legs. Because if we can get rid of all their offensive firepower, then we can just pretty much smother them out with impunity. But either they'll have to go heavy to take back both of these, or skip these 2 to do this attack. So we'll see what they end up deciding to do. Didn't lose very many infantry on this turn either, which was pretty good. So Britain just took their turn. They bought 2 tanks, an artillery, and a fighter. My thoughts on this are they probably could have dropped a fleet, but they opted not to. I guess they're going to drop it next round maybe. And they did some bombing on Germany, but we got a pretty good economy, so I think I'll be able to ignore that for the time being, hopefully. And alright. My purchase for Japan 2 is 1 artillery, 2 transports, and an ISC. I believe I'll put it in, I think I'll put it in Manchuria just in case, because I'm gonna have to put these transports here in 62 so that, provided I haven't made any counting mistakes, which you really have to be wary of when you're putting transports by themselves, but we should be able to hold that just fine. Where the United States has decided to stack a fleet here in 53, I'm going to stack 49 very heavily with pretty much everything I can stack it with, just to challenge this fleet's position and either force it to go to 55 and then over to Atlantic, or at least back to 56. This isn't really a threat to anything because there's no transport, so with the amount of stuff I intend on sticking in 49, it should be completely fine. But yeah, this is my attacks. I'm going to take Western Australia. I'm going to take New Guinea, Sichuan, Xinjiang, Soviet Far East. We're going to be doing some expansion. Hopefully this will go without a lot of losses, because I'd like to do is send the infantry to here, tank to Madagascar, and then drop it off here in South Africa. And if we need to sacrifice a transport to do that, then that will work fine by me. But yeah, let's go ahead and we'll just do these battles. Everything looks pretty good. Alright, clean take. Yes, sir. Alright, there we go. Of course they get the hit back, but that's fine. Alright, where do we want to put the bomber at? I suppose we'll go with Borneo, maybe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What I want to do is I want to try to aim to get the bomber into Europe pretty soon. Yeah, we might have to ignore it. We'll think about this once we see what the Soviets and the U.S. do. But for now, that's the current idea. We'll put one artillery up here and these planes right here. And the reason we're doing that is in case if we can do a West Russia stack, we will. I mean, we're a little low on infantry in the front lines for the time being, but hopefully that won't be too big of an issue pretty soon. I'd like to stack West Russia next turn. We'll run the odds on that, see how doable it is. We're gonna put all these planes in 49. And we'll just double check the range of these airplanes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No planes. No bombers. This plane, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we'll have to keep this. So yeah, if the UK wants to push out of India to take Burma, that's fine. I can just load up this transport, these transports over here, and just do a full-on whack on that. That'll be fine. We're a little thin though, a little thin. I'm hoping to get that shored up. I was planning to do full tilt toward Moscow starting this turn, but I think the increasing of the Japanese economy is slightly more important. I'll drop another industrial complex next turn and we'll be ready to go. Moscow is going to need all of its numbers though, that's for sure. Although they got a lot of money to spend. Not really liking how much money they have to spend there. But hopefully this will be the last turn they have that much money. All right. Yeah, that ought to do it. Just double checking here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, okay. We should be good. All right, and that will conclude J2. I'll probably go ahead and upload this as part 1, and I'll see you back for part 2. Whether that'll be a couple of more. I might wait until J3 to record the next one. We'll see. It'll kind of depend on what the board looks like.